Let the music move you, let's sway. Radio G's got your jam all day.
Radio Generation, the home of urban soul.
But sasa, according to me, wenye tunalala huko mwisho tukasikia a strong smell, like venye mattress zichomeka.
Na hata sisi wazazi tunafaa kujua watoto wetu.
I was reviewing the CCTV footage of Utumishi Academy and I felt very sad. I even struggled to sleep.
I want to apologize on behalf of the nation of Kenya.
And mechanism by William Ruto to establish a quarantine center in Kenya. This is our democratic right.
Alafu tena unaambiwa Ebola iletwe. Hiyo virusi ya Ebola ikishika mzee wetu hapa, si ameenda
ule women repetu akwende nyumbani. Pole pole aende nyumbani.
This is the Radio Generation News.
Hujambo popote pale ulipo na karibu. Jina langu ni Dahira Ahmed. Tukitanguliza, jopo kazi la majaji watatu bado linaendelea kutoa uamuzi wake kuhusu kesi inayomhusu aliyekuwa naibu rais Rigathi Gachagua. Jopo hilo linalojumuisha majaji Eric Ogolla, Anthony Mrima na Frida Mugambi linaendelea kutoa uamuzi katika mashauri yaliyounganishwa yanayopinga uhalali wa mchakato wa kumuondoa madarakani Rigathi Gachagua. Tutaendelea kukuletea taarifa za hivi punde kuhusu swala hilo kupitia majukwaa ya Radio Generation. Kwa sasa tusikilize yaliyojiri ndani ya ukumbi wa mahakama ya Milimani.
It is a well-settled evidentiary principle that a bare denial or unsubstantiated allegation cannot displace positive and particularized evidence to the contrary. The petitioners bore the burden of proving on a balance of probabilities that the public participation was an illusory or ineffective exercise. That burden was not discharged. It was also common ground that the public participation was tabled before the National Assembly on the 8th of October 2024. Members of Parliament had the opportunity to consider it before and during the debate. One of the petitioners mounted a specific and pointed challenge to the integrity of the report's data, contending that the figures recorded for Keio South were statistically impossible in that they purportedly reflected a support rate of 162.78%, a figure that, if accurate, would self-evidently exceed the mathematical ceiling of 100% and thus portray either gross error or deliberate manipulation.
Kando na hayo, aliyekuwa jaji mkuu nchini David Maraga ameachiliwa uhuru baada ya kukamatwa jijini Nairobi hii leo alipokuwa akishiriki maandamano dhidi ya madai ya uvamizi wa ardhi ya hifadhi ya taifa ya Nairobi. Maraga alizuiliwa kwa muda katika kituo cha polisi cha Lang'ata kabla ya kuachiliwa. Wakati huo, rais wa chama cha wanasheria cha LSK, Charles Kanjama, amelaani kukamatwa kwake akisema ni ukiukaji wa haki za kikatiba za wananchi za kuandamana kwa amani.
Kwa majina naitwa Njeri Mwangi, na kilichosababisha tukuje hapa ni kwamba tumesikia na tunajua ya kwamba wanajenga parking. Wamegawa sehemu ya park 76 acres, ekari 76 wajenge park. Hata haifai kwa sababu haikuwa na public participation. Hawafai kuiba park kujenga parking. Na ndio maana tulikuwa tumekuja hapa kusema hatutaki iendelee, na hata mahali wamefika waache tu, watafute mahali pengine, kwa sababu tunataka hii park, kwa sababu ndio park moja tu yenye iko kwa a park in a city duniani. Wakishaanza kuiba hivyo, tumeona mambo mengine inatendeka hata huku nchini. Wanajenga hoteli ndani ya park, wameharibu mali, wanyama wanapitia, na tunaendelea kuona hii mambo wakiendelea tu kuchukua park na kuitikisha, mambo haifai. Kwa hivyo ndio maana tulikuwa hapa leo. Tumeacha hata magari pite, tulikuwa tunapitana na magari, kila kitu kilikuwa inaendelea sawa. Alafu maafisa wa polisi wakatoka, wakapotea kidogo, tukakuja gari kubwa na polisi hawana uniform, na wakasema watu waingie kwa gari. Wakaweka CJ Emeritus, wakamkalisha chini na wenye walikuwa hapo karibu na yeye, na wakamweka kwa gari, na kisha baadaye wakaanza kutupatia gas.
Na msemaji wa serikali Isaac Mwaura Ameonyesha wasiwasi kuhusu kuongezeka kwa visa vya migomo, uchomaji wa mali na utovu wa nidhamu katika shule mbalimbali nchini, akisema hali hiyo inachangiwa na changamoto za kijamii zinazowaathiri vijana. Mwaura amewataka wazazi, walimu na viongozi wa jamii kushirikiana kuimarisha malezi, ushauri na nidhamu kwa wanafunzi, huku akitaka uwekezaji zaidi katika huduma za ushauri nasaha ili kukabiliana na ongezeko la vurugu miongoni mwa vijana.
Wazazi wachukulie jukumu lao la kuwalinda watoto wao, kwa sababu tumeona utomvu wa nidhamu ambao umekithiri sana, kwa sababu nafikiri baba na mama sote tunatafuta. Tumewaachia mambo ya kulea watoto wetu wakufunzi, walimu. Na ilhali pia tumesema kwamba tusimwadhibu mtoto. Sasa inakuwa kwamba sasa hivi tunapata kwamba hata watoto ni kama ndio wanashurutisha wazazi. Lazima tuwe na mchakato wa kitaifa ambao utaangazia jambo hili kwa kina, kwa mapana na marefu, tujue nini kiini cha utomvu wa nidhamu huu, kwa sababu sio shule moja ama mbili. Unajua zamani watu walikuwa nafikiri ni mtoto wa kiume ambaye, lakini sasa tunaona pia ni mtoto wa kike. Kwa hiyo maadili haya ambayo yamekwenda chini yametuadhiri kwa kiasi kikubwa sana.
Kwingineko, mchekeshaji na mwanaharakati Eric Omondi amekana mashtaka ya kuzuia shughuli za magari katika barabara ya umma mbele ya mahakama. Mahakama ilimwachilia kwa dhamana ya kibinafsi ya shilingi 1,100 baada ya kuachiliwa mawakili wake walikosoa kukamatwa kwake, wakidai mashtaka hayo hayana msingi na ni jaribio la vitisho vya kisiasa.
The police think they can arrest you on Monday, they can arrest you on Tuesday, they can arrest you on Wednesday, they can arrest you on Thursday, but they opt to arrest you on what? On Friday, when the courts are not sitting, so that you can stay in police custody on Saturday, on Sunday, and come back on Monday. That amounts to punishment.
Na tukiendelea, kamati ya seneti kuhusu ugatuzi na uhusiano wa kiserikali imemsikiza spika wa bunge la kaunti ya Isiolo Abdullahi Banticha kuhusu masuala yanayoathiri uongozi na utendakazi wa bunge la kaunti ya Isiolo. Kikao hicho kililenga kupata maelezo kuhusu uhusiano wa kikazi na changamoto mbalimbali zinazokabili bunge hilo, huku kamati ikiendelea na uchunguzi wake kuhusu masuala ya uongozi katika kaunti hiyo.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, we will give the reasoning behind our response to our letter, and our legal counsel will expound on that. But I want to inform the committee, we didn't relocate to Oldonyiro, out of nowhere. The entire county assembly chambers offices were destroyed during the impeachment.
Order, Speaker, please. We're saying we are now discussing the letter, your response. And the response that you have given us was not palatable to this committee or into the Senate. So please, just to a discussion now, we want your position. We want you to retract the letter so that we can proceed ahead again.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Let me give our legal counsel to give an explanation on the same.
Okay, legal man.
Na chama cha Safina tawi la Pwani kimeitaka serikali kuondoa vipengele vinavyodaiwa kuwa mzigo kwa wananchi katika mswada wa kifedha wa mwaka 2026-27, kikisema hatua hiyo itaongeza gharama ya maisha kwa Wakenya wengi. Viongozi wa chama hicho wamesema serikali inapaswa kuzingatia kukuza uchumi, kuimarisha mazingira ya biashara na kupunguza matumizi yasiyo ya lazima badala ya kuongeza mzigo wa ushuru kwa wananchi.
We must speak firmly and without fear. The finance bill 2026 is unacceptable. It is punitive, it is insensitive, and it places a heavier burden on already struggling citizens. Even leaders, experts across the country have raised serious concerns that it will increase the cost of living and overtax ordinary Kenyans.
Na kiongozi Bepari anayedai kwamba yeye ndiye chairman wa Coast Province, tokea tuanze kukaa mikutano hapa Mombasa, hakuna siku amejitokeza, amekuja kwetu, wala kupiga simu, wala kutaka kujua kwani inaendelea nini. Tunashtukia juzi baada ya kupanga mkutano sisi na ofisi kuu, yeye amechukua jukumu kuchukua mabepari kama yeye kwenda ofisi ya juu, kwenda kujitambua kwamba yeye ndiye chairman wa Safina Party, ambapo hata sura zake sisi kama wanachama hatujaziona.
Na kufikia hapo mtazamaji, natamatisha taarifa zetu za saa 1 jioni, ila usibanduke. Taarifa zaidi ni hapo mwendo wa saa 3. Ninakutakia usiku mwema. Kwaheri.
This is Radio Generation. We are Radio Generation. We would like to thank you for choosing us. We are mandated by the Communications Authority of Kenya to ensure that our programming is in compliance with the terms of our license. Kindly send your complaints to us via info@rgk.co.ke as well as inbox via our social media platforms. We will review and respond within 30 days of receipt. Thank you for choosing Radio Generation. Business news on Radio Generation.
Good evening, I am Dahira Ahmed. Kenya has secured 20.7 billion shillings in new investments to support digital transformation programs and expand regional internet connectivity through submarine cable infrastructure. The agreements witnessed by President William Ruto in Brussels today include 15.3 billion shillings under the EU-Kenya digital partnership aimed at accelerating digital transformation, expanding connectivity, and creating opportunities for businesses and young people. And global stock markets have fallen following a sharp sell-off in technology shares, triggering heavy losses across Asia. In South Korea, trading was briefly suspended for 20 minutes after the Kospi index plunged nearly 9% shortly after opening. The index later closed down 8.3%, while Japan's Nikkei dropped 3.8%. European markets also opened lower, although losses were less severe compared to those seen in Asia. And that's all we have for business news. For more business updates, go on to radiogeneration.co.ke. Good evening, I am Dahira Ahmed.
That's the business on Radio Generation. This week, power was tested in the corridors of leadership, economies shook under pressure, and the voices of ordinary citizens demanded to be heard. From breaking decisions in high office to protests in the streets, from moments of triumph to tragedies that stopped us in our tracks. These are the headlines that shaped our week. And beyond the noise, we search for what really matters, the connections, the context, the stories behind the stories. And this is your weekly news roundup on Radio Generation, where every headline has a heartbeat and every moment counts.
Yes, indeed. A very good evening to you. How are you doing? The time right now is 13 minutes past 7 o'clock. My name is Mongala Mbuvi, and this is the weekly roundup. Generation Report it is. And like I told you, every single Monday we do it from 7 to 9 in the PM. And for our conversations, we usually like to go through the weekly roundup and see what made headlines in the last couple of days, and definitely what is germane to you. Now, tonight, Hanifa Adan is not with me. I am with Lucia Ayela. She's my guest host for this particular 2 hours. Lucia, good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening, Buvi. I am doing okay. I'm very happy to be here. How are you?
I'm good.
How was your weekend?
Very eventful. Yeah, had a lot of things to do, very little time. I actually don't think I rested this weekend, but nonetheless, I don't think I get to complain. In this line of work, you have got to be very, fast on your feet. You have got to deal with whatever comes your way. So here we are.
Yeah, I totally agree.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was chilled, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Mimi kama Ghana, bado tunasherekea kikombe.
Ngoja. Ghana the country?
No, Ghana the Arsenals.
Oh, Ghana's. Nyinyi watu wa kelele.
Sisi watu wa kelele.
Yeah.
Bado tunapiga kelele.
I saw folks praying for PSG to do that thing ndio mnyamaze.
I know.
And indeed they did it.
But can you imagine how we would be getting roasted had we not won the Premier League?
Look, I was actually rooting for the Gunners to win this Premier League. I'm a Liverpool fan. But nilikuwa nawaombea because it's been a very long time.
You understand the pain.
Nilikuwa nawafeel na nikasema acha Mungu aonekanie ili mweze kufanya nini? Ili at least mweze kusema we have been there in this century.
Manza acheni tu tupige kelele bana. Tumejifunga miaka 22, we deserve to make a bit of noise.
Yes indeed.
Yeah.
All right. For the folks who are hearing you for the first time, maybe you can let them know what it is exactly that Lucia does.
Lucia is a strategic digital communications person. and I am also an active citizen. I think hii activism yangu nilianza time za uhuru 2018 2019 around there. So one day I was frustrated about the way the police were handling students at JKUAT who were protesting against insecurity at their campus. Were you a student there? No.
Okay.
I was not. But I was watching it on TV. And there was this very tiny bodied boy and 4 cops just landed on him, and that kind of made me very angry.
Yeah.
So I was making noise in the house and my mom was like, "Wewe toka hapa na kelele zako, hakuna mtu atakusaidia, serikali is not here." And then I took my phone, I did a video, I posted it, and then I think after 3 days someone with a big following picked up on it, then it went viral.
Yeah.
So at first I was afraid, but then like I figured, people are agreeing with everything that I was saying, so it just became like a route of channeling my frustration as a young person in this country. Of course, you grow up and you kind of start to understand the way things work. So now I work in different circles, not so much on the front line of digital activism as much. But I think Shiko Kihika and I ran so that Akina Hanifa would, we walked so that Akina Hanifa would run. And I am very proud of these girls, her, Shakira, this other Sophie Wathika. They're doing a great job. It kind of gives me hope that our country is in the safe hands as long as coming generations are going to keep doing the work.
Yeah. You said that you were afraid that time when that influencer picked up your video.
Yeah.
What exactly were you afraid of?
I think everything that everybody is afraid of right now. I was, my parents, I'm a millennial, so I don't know the trauma of Moism and Nyaoism. I didn't go through that.
Okay.
But my parents went through that. So they'd tell me, once that video came out, my relatives sent it to my mother. My mother was calling me and he's like, unajua utachukuliwa, utapelekwa torture chambers. And now I look back and I'm thinking, those were the good days, because I used to say some very, very harsh things towards the president.
Right.
And I'm still standing. If I did that today, I think kesho mtakuwa mmeweka posters za free Ayela.
What was your issue with the government of that time of 2019? Apart from that violence you witnessed, what else did you continue agitating for?
I would say everything that's in Article 43 of our Constitution, because it's the Constitution that actually got me to that place. I started getting an interest in youth empowerment sometime after campus. So I read a lot of policies and a lot of our laws. And then I realized on paper they are very good, but the practicality of it is not. And I think it was just the timing of it is when the president was coming out and going like, we are losing 2 billion in a day. These people are stealing. Lakini sasa mnataka nifanye. And I was looking at my constitution. I'm like, okay, yeah, the constitution literally tells you what you can do. Why are you asking us? It's your job. So I basically felt like everything was going wrong. I felt like education was, because this was the time CBC was being introduced, yeah?
Right.
I felt like education was not going in the right direction. Neither was healthcare. And a lot of the things that we are complaining about right now, that we are feeling the pinch of in our education sector and our healthcare sector, a lot of these things started with the previous regime. And I'm not trying to absolve our current president. He was very actively part of the previous regime.
Okay.
So he knows what deals they signed, and they knew how these deals were going to affect us now.
Okay.
We are now paying the price for it. We were just not active then. Yeah.
Compared to that time, because you've said right now we'd be having posters saying free Ayela.
Manze!
Why are you not saying those things right now? Or are you saying them are you saying them differently? Are you saying them the same way? Or you have chosen a different path altogether?
I would say I am engaging with power differently. I am more about policy advisory right now, because at some point you come to realize you can make a lot of noise about something, but if you don't engage with it within the structures that have been put there, then it won't make sense. And I think this brings me to the point of Finance Bill 2024.
Okay.
There was a lot of noise about it online, but at some point people had to send emails because you had to leave a paper trail of showing I participated via email.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't engage with these things within the structures that are there, and I'm not saying it's easy or these are the right structures, but it's what we currently have. And I feel like there's a bit more tangible change in that route. Not to say Maandamano does not have change. It does, because as a public noisemaker, by them, every time I have a problem, I just post it on Twitter. And then I let the tweeps do their thing until it gets the right person's attention. So if we put all these strategies together, then I think we stand a better chance of actually achieving tangible change faster. Yeah.
Do you believe that we will get to that change that Kenyans are yearning for? And by Kenyans, I mean everyone, because people have been saying perhaps it's the young people, the millennials or the Gen Zs that are agitating. But I believe that every Kenyan across the board, regardless of their age, there's something that they need changed. Do you think that we shall achieve that in our lifetime?
I am not sure if it's going to happen in our lifetime. I don't know. But the thing that I am sure about is everything we are currently doing, even if it looks small, is a foundation that we are setting. You know the way they say, the first strike doesn't break the stone. It's the last one that breaks the stone. But that doesn't mean all the other strikes before the one that broke the stone were useless. They contributed to that last strike. So we are setting a foundation that generations from now will be able to build up on.
Right. Let me give the listeners a lineup of what to expect today up until 9 o'clock. We are supposed to be hosting constitutional lawyer Ndegwa Njiru. Now, Ndegwa is currently in the courts. Anangangana na hiyo kesi ya Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. So whether he will make it here, I honestly don't know, but we hope he will. The other person that we're supposed to be hosting is Honorable Gigi Kagombe. He is the Member of Parliament for Gatundu South. If he makes it here as well, also in good time, we shall definitely engage with him. But kama kawaida ilivyo desturi, we shall have a conversation around some of the things that have been, again, making headlines in the last couple of days. And there's something actually that has been on everyone's mind and lips. Hii issue ya mashule kufungwa. It started with the Utumishi fire, Utumishi Academy fire that happened a couple of days ago, the other Friday actually. Was it Friday? Yeah, it was Friday. I think it was. Yeah. Friday very early in the morning. Watu wakaenda on kukatokezea na moto. Then after that, we have been seeing school after school after school closing. I think by today, we are talking about over 50 schools that have shut down or at least sent children home in the name of just calming people's nerves. What are your thoughts, first of all, on that closure or those closures?
I feel it's a necessary move. I just believe they should have uniformly closed all the schools for maybe a week.
The PS said that's not happening. He said they're not going to alter the school calendar. So, mpende msipende, midterm itafanyika wakati wa midterm, mitihani itafanyika wakati wa mitihani, na closing day itafanyika wakati wa closing day.
How honest am I allowed to be on air?
Yeah, I mean, as long as you do not break the law, be as honest as you can.
We saw MPs a short while ago standing and criticizing the current PS, calling him the most incompetent PS they have ever met in their lives. Do you know what the Constitution says about an incompetent public service leader?
What does it say?
That they need to be removed from office. And that is not an elected leader at sijui tuende to collect signatures to impeach sijui nini. The power to remove him from office lies squarely with the president. And here is my problem. You see the way we had the Arab Spring of Revolution.
Yes.
So one country did it, another country did it.
It started in Tunisia, yes.
Yes. We did our thing in 2024. Then Nepal did their thing. Bangladesh did their thing. Those other people did their thing. Like that. So when these schools, moja imechomeka, then there's a fire somewhere else, there's a fire somewhere else. These kids say, oh, if those ones did that and they saw some change, maybe if we do it and we have these problems, then we are going to see some change. My question to the PS is, why aren't you listening to these kids? One, they are human. Two, these are kids that can articulate and express themselves. I saw that girl from Utumishi Academy talking about the way they were congested in the dorm. That was a very articulate child.
Yes.
If your child comes to you and says, Mvuvi, Baba, I am tired, do you beat your child to continue working, or do you say, okay, take 5 minutes and rest?
Yeah, I actually give them the whole day. Relax.
You know, and you see, we are now telling these kids, oh, whatever your problems are, they're not valid. So we are teaching them to actually ignore the challenges that they have. And then they grow up into people who continue to ignore challenges, and then we will complain about them later when we are teaching them now. I usually like to use this example when I talk about our education system, na politics, na engagement with power and structures of power. As a girl, uko na sisters?
No, but niko na female cousins.
Uko na female cousins. Ni mara ngapi wakiwa wadogo waliambiwa nisikuone na ule mvulana wewe?
Mara mingi sana.
Then they got to the age of 23, 24, 25 and they were like, hey, kwani wewe uolewi? So you are magically now expected to get married to one of these boys that have been demonized your entire life.
Yes.
Same with politics. We don't interact with politics in our formative education years. We don't interact with our constitution even. We don't interact with our leaders themselves in our formative education years. Then you get to the age of 18 and someone magically expects you to understand why voting is important and why you should vote. There is a disconnect. And when our government starts looking at these students as people, as human beings with their own autonomy and agency, then maybe we can get to the bottom of the problem. Because if these kids are saying we are too many, we don't have enough learning facilities, why aren't we fixing these problems? So we think putting them in that environment in our saidia aje, where hata we mwenyewe as a grown up, huwezi stand a congested environment for too long. Kids spend 9 months out of a possible 12 in a year in school. Why are we expecting our kids to survive conditions zenye ziko very uncomfortable for us?
True.
It's wild.
You know, I saw something and I hope I'll get it as we talk. It is currently on ilikuwa kwa inaitwa WhatsApp. And I hope I get it. Ilikuanga tu mahali hapa. But if I don't get it, I'll just paraphrase what that person said. It's just that I wanted to read it in the way they wrote it. So if it's not here, I'll just paraphrase ndio tusiharibu wakati tukitafuta vitu zenye haziko. But in very many words, what I am looking for, the caption I am looking for is of this. I think she's a very prominent pastor. Wanakuanga ni wa SDA, I think. Na mtu amemquote, but sijui kama ni yeye alisema hizi vitu ama it was just someone who takes an image and then anaeka to quote. You know, like the Robert Mugabe has so many quotes that he didn't make. But anyway, this particular quote or caption was of this pastor talking about how we teach our children at home. It's like parents have neglected or absconded the duty of educating or parenting, not educating, but parenting their children, and they have left it to the school. The school, according to this pastor, the school's purpose is to educate. Kufunza watoto mathematics, English, Kiswahili, PE na agriculture, music and arts. Because I am sure tukikuachia mtoto wako, chances are you're unable to teach him or her those particular subjects. So hii ni kazi ya shule. But the parenting aspect, unajua ile kufunza mtoto nidhamu, kufunza mtoto heshima, kufunza mtoto how to deal with other human beings. From what I understand, that is the work of us as parents. If I look back to how I was brought up, and this is just my opinion, if I look at how I was brought up, it wasn't actually perfect, but there are things my parents taught me that I can never be taught. I could never have been taught in school. For example, how to tell which relative to avoid and which one to be with. You know, hizo si vitu your teacher, your mathematics or chemistry teacher will ever know.
Yeah.
Because your chemistry will tell you just treat everyone with respect, be kind to everyone, you know, interact with everyone. But your mother or your father will tell you, unaona Lucia kikupatia chakula usikule. Kwa sababu gani? Maybe Lucia ni mchawi. But these are just things that we say. It's conjecture, right?
Yeah.
But I kind of agree with this pastor. Parenting and education are two different aspects of molding a human being.
Yeah.
There are people who've never gone to school, right?
Yeah.
But they are upstanding human beings. they are kind, they are respectful, they might not even write, so that means they're literate. Huyu mtu hata ukimpatia, nimepatana na watu even in my career as a msanii, I have met people who cannot read, like unamwandikia script hivi inabidi ukochu mtu word for word because the script is, they can't read Kiswahili, English or anything. But this person is a very respectful person. This person is a very upstanding citizen. Like huyu ni mtu morality yake iko top. Sasa kiona ukienda kando, anamwambia what you're doing is wrong. So I don't know. How are we doing everything we can for our children? Because like I said, there are some things you can't teach children in school.
My perspective is a bit different.
Sure.
And I largely I agree with what you're saying. But then I think parenting shouldn't stop with your biological parents. Siku hizi watoto wa siku hizi hawalelewi na it does not take a village these days, but me when I was growing up it used to take a village. It used to take a village, and that is why ule baba na nisi baba yako, lakini akikupata kwa ile kona kama unafanya ujinga atakuchapa, akupeleke home, akuseme pia home uchapwe. You know, so we grow up knowing there's always someone around watching.
Yes.
So if you don't behave correct, someone is going to see. If you behave correct also, someone is going to see. And nowadays we don't have that communal kind of upbringing.
Yeah, we don't.
Siku hizi watoto hawatoki nje kucheza, ni kila mtoto kwao na PS yake. Pengine akitoka nje ametoka na bike, apige laps zake 2-3 arudi ho. There's a kid in my I'm very sorry to my neighbors. Sijawafanya content, but there's a kid in my neighborhood who's very antisocial. Very antisocial. Na ni wale watoto hawatokangi, like akitoka ametoka na mamake kwenda kwa duka, wamerudi kwa nyumba, you know. So I feel like we've lost our communal spirit somewhere where you'd trust your neighbor with your child. Up to sahi unasikia umeacha mtoto na nani ameenda na mtoto wako. You can't. There's that duty care that we used to have and we no longer have it. I don't know where the rain started beating us, but we no longer have that. And I feel like that was what was kind of, because as you've said, a human being, kuna very many facets of bringing up a child. I'm a new mom, by the way.
Congrats.
And I look at my child every day and I'm just thinking, I'm supposed to mold this one into a person that can live in society with other people in harmony. But now we have a lot of bills to pay. One income is no longer enough for one household, so you have to have multiple incomes. That means if there is both a mother and a father, you're both working.
Yeah.
So you employ a nanny to take care of your kids. You have to work very long hours, and then the other time una spend in traffic, like commuting from your workplace to your home, because not everybody works from home.
True.
So by the time unafika home, mtoto wako mwenye alitoka kwa nyumba 5 am, and I don't understand mbona watoto wanatoka kwa nyumba 5 am kwenda shule, alifika, amefanya homework, amekula, we by the time unafika 10, we mtu yashalala. Tena amke 5 atoke kabla wewe uamke. So hata mnaishi nyumba moja na hamuonani. The needs of life have changed, and in our trying to adapt to those needs, we've neglected parenting. I don't think it's intentional. I just think it's where capitalism has led us.
Okay. As we continue, I found that meme. This is what it says. It's by, again, allegedly. I don't know if she actually said this. I'm just squeezing what watengenezanga tu story. But Elizabeth Mokoro, I'm sure you've seen this lady somewhere. So this is what Elizabeth said. Pastor Elizabeth. Alisema, when you have, but this one itananga pastor? I don't know. Hapa wamemweka tu kama preacher. So this is what Preacher Elizabeth said. When you have teenagers who can sit and plan to set a dormitory on fire at night, the intention was purely for people to die. At times when you blame the administration, I pity you. The administration does not parent. It is in charge of educating your child. Character and habit are your work as a parent. You cannot carry murderers to school and expect the school to build and educate them for us and blame the administration for a dormitory that did not have good windows. Your house windows have grills. Have they burned them down? This is a very good perspective, interesting perspective, and it gives us an opportunity to actually have some discourse on it. Let me just read that one kapat kenye nimekumbuka. Kenye nataka tutilie mkazo. The administration does not parent. It is in charge of educating your child. Character and habit are your work as a parent. You cannot carry murderers to school. Listen to that. You cannot carry murderers to school and expect the school to build and educate them for us. I don't know. And that apartment, lemesema, doesn't your house have, beds, windows that have grills, doors and a carpet, and uko na gas hapo kwa nyumba yenye inaweza waka moto? Mbona mtoto hajawasha nyumba yako moto, ama hajawasha bedroom yake? Kama ako na bedroom yake, hajawasha bedroom yake moto, but ameenda shule akawasha hiyo ya shule.
There's someone on Twitter who said the same, alluded to the same. Alisema ata excuse these kids only if they have ever burnt their homes to prove a point to their parents. And I get that. I honestly get where that is coming from. I would say, they said, I had the kids say that their intention was not to ban the other students. So then I asked myself, why didn't they, mbona wakuwasha hiyo moto kwa classroom basi? Like, why wouldn't they use... And someone else made an argument that, the classroom doesn't have many flammable material. It's just, if the point was to prove a point, then does it really matter where the fire would have been?
Because let's not forget, at home is where they interact with a lot of disciplinary issues. Because mtaani, there's things you can't do. For example, you can't yell in your house, but in school you can yell. You can't insult your parent at home, but you can insult your teacher. We even give teachers nicknames, don't we?
Yeah.
I remember in my school, nilikuwa Nairobi school, and we used to call our teachers anything from Kroko, meaning crocodile, to I'm forgetting. But we had all these names for our teachers. But you will never find someone calling their father Kroko, even if you are sure your dad looks like a crocodile. You will never call your mother a demeaning name. But in school we do it. Why? I actually agree with this preacher, Elizabeth. We are failing to an extent as parents. Yes, we are. And as much as we want to blame the school for not having grills, fine, the school will carry their blame, because kuna guidelines za kujenga dormitories, kuna guidelines za kujenga darasa, and they didn't follow them. But what about the part we as parents have played in these school closures and in these school fires that we are seeing?
Accountability movie. That is the thing that comes to mind. Accountability. Kwa sababu as parents we have to hold ourselves accountable. Yeah. At times, kama mzazi, you will do everything you can for your child in the right way, the way you were told it's supposed to be done. But still that child atakuwa wayward. And I think at times maybe there are kids who are not parented enough for whatever reason it is, whatever challenges their parents have, be it self-imposed or otherwise. But we need to take accountability for that. And someone asked, if you found out your child was among the kids who started the fire, what would you do? And in my head, I'm just thinking, I refuse to raise a degenerate. I let you go through the justice system. If you're going to be jailed, you be jailed. I will love you, but you have to be jailed. I will still love you even from the outside while you're still inside. You're my child. I birthed you. But if this is the process you have to go through in order to understand the magnitude of the mistake you have done, then so be it. Because if I shield you now, hapo mbele si utaninyonga mimi. Alafu ntalilia nani basi? And I'm not saying let's brutalize our children, tuchape hawa watoto paka watoke ngozi. No, but discipline. And discipline doesn't have to be violent. I don't have to beat the daylights out of my child in order for them to get a point.
But you can tell when your child is about to burn
yes.
is a future dormitory burner.
Bovi, let me tell you,
a future arsonist.
I raised my niece. Like when she was around the age of 5, 6, 7 hapo, yendo alikuwa, like she has a very confident personality. So akienda nje among the other kids, yendo alikuwa ring leader. Na mi used to know huyo mtoto ni mchokozi. So every time someone would come knock on my door and say, hey, nani amenichapa, I would believe them. Because me, I know ours. I know ours ni mchokozi atakupiga, by the way. Like ulifanya nini mndu you know. So you know the capability of your child as a parent. If you've parented your child, you know the capability of your child.
Yeah.
So hii kusema ati unataka kushtuka like, oh my God, oh my bundle of joy could no.
Inazanga by the akiwa that toddler, akiwa mchanga that entitlement that a child would have.
Yeah.
They are throwing tantrums because you've denied them chocolate, or you've denied them cartoons, or there's a measure of discipline you've put upon them.
Yeah.
And then they are rebellious.
Yeah.
Or there are boundaries you put for them, and then they are rebellious, or they start throwing tantrums. By that one, I can tell you, is a future arsonist. No, seriously. You need to take care of that. You need to nip it in the bud at that particular time.
They
early. Need to know there are consequences to their actions, and they need to know that they will not get everything they want in life, because we've heard so many things about these arsonists from school. Sijui mara there was some sexual thing going on, sijui mara they were lesbians, mara it was the food, mara it was the bed. I mean, fine, things can go wrong, vitanda ni mbaya, the school is congested, but they have got to learn how to do something called conflict resolution. And it doesn't mean that burning a dormitory is the solution, is the answer to their problems.
You see, that's the thing. And I want to say, hakuna guidebook ya parenting. There's no one with a rule book where we can say, now that is the perfect parenting. No, we are all winging it.
Yeah, we
are all winging it.
There's also not a single book on how to be a teenager.
Yeah.
Or
and
how to be a child.
You see, that's the thing. In as much as we feel like we need to protect our kids from the trauma we went through, it doesn't mean we should just let them free to do whatever it is they want to do.
True.
And I hope these girls get to learn their lessons, because I can't believe what will be going through the mind of a 16-year-old. Because I'm thinking, when I was 16, I had a lot of rage inside me. Mi kwanza nilikuwa high school ingine, guy. There was rage, but hakuna mahali niliaifika, and I felt like wacha nichome hizi vitu. Me, I think after Mjaluo ameni character develop in my adulthood, sijachoma vitu.
Okay.
So there needs to be a reason as to why these kids went to that as whatever they felt comfortable for resolving. Yeah.
The other issue that we need to discuss is the government. Let me just read this. It's from the Daily Nation.
Mm-hmm.
The government will start selling non-personal data collected through platforms like eCitizen to generate extra revenue from information in demand by researchers, businesses, and other organizations. Again, the government will start selling non-personal data collected through platforms like eCitizen to generate extra revenue from information in demand by researchers, businesses, and other organizations. So, for the very many decades that you have lived, the data that the government has been collecting about you, they will sell that, what they are calling non-personal data. Now, I do not know what non-personal data is. Umeniambia wewe unafanya kazi in the digital space. Can you let me know if you know what non-personal data is?
That's the question I have, actually. That would be my first question, because I've realized a lot of these deals that our government is signing zina thrive under ambiguity. So can we define now what personal data is and what non-personal data is? Because when you say non-personal data, all data that government has pertaining to me is personal. Which one is this non-personal?
Let me ask you, in your interaction with the government, can you remember what data you have given them?
I would say,
whether it's you going to the hospital, whether it's you applying for your ID, whether it is you going for, I don't know, employment. Can you fikiria ni nini umepatia gava yenye unasema hiyo mnaweza peana?
That's the thing. That's why I'm trying to think in and personal data ni gani.
And then don't
because
forget,
I have given you my location where I live. You have my carrier pin. You have my email address. You have my phone number. You have my IP address. If you want to find me, you can find me. You know, like there is nothing I have given government that can be considered non-personal. Even my medical data is personal. So which one is this non-personal data? Because that one I'm not understanding. Which one is this non-personal data? Secondly, there's a very huge trust gap between our government and us. Because this is the government that will tell you, oh, we have allocated 10 billion, and then ukuja upate kumbe ilikuwa 100 billion, and they will tell you, ni computer iliongeza zero ya kimakosa. But you see that zero comes with implications. So now, how am I just supposed to trust, like, oh, you're giving out my... For what? And let me tell you what I'm thinking. This AI means testing models that they're doing. The ones that they're using for SHA, for our taxes I'm hearing now. The ones that they're using for the university new funding model. It doesn't matter how much data you give AI.
Yes.
AI will never be empathetic. You know, haitakuwa na nuances zenye a human being is going to catch on. It's just... So this non-personal data, I need government to specifically say
what exactly it is.
Define it very clearly what non-personal data is. And isn't this something we are supposed to agree to? Ni nani alituuliza tukasema sawa uzeni? Where did we agree on that? There's nowhere we've agreed. And this is the issue with the whole public participation. There's rarely any public participation in this country. Mtu tu anaamka na decide, oh, wale wamesema watatupatia bilioni 2 tuwapatie data. Wapatie data.
So they're going to give out your non-personal data to make money. Let me just use it again. To generate extra revenue from information in demand by researchers, businesses, and other organizations. Let me tell you what researchers, the kind of information researchers usually want. Let's even say they want to do, they need information and they want to do a market survey on a new phone, for example. They will need to know your age.
Yeah.
They will need to know where you come from. They'll need to know your shopping, what is it called? Tendencies. Do you buy phones in January? Do you buy phones in December? Do you buy phones during your birthday? Or do you buy phones during Valentine's? Okay? They will want to know where you spend your money the most. Do you spend it in Shags? Do you spend it in Nairobi? Do you spend it out of the country? They will want to know, do you fly? And when you fly, which airlines do you use?
Do you prefer? Yeah.
And do you fly during the holidays? Do you fly any time of the year? Or do you fly specifically during your maybe wedding anniversary or whatever? That is the kind of information researchers want. And if it's about health, they will want to know, uko na ugonjwa gani? Umeipata ukimwi? Umeipata kaswende? Umeipata malaria? Umeipata pneumonia? Umewahi kupata ringworms? Umeipata liver fluke? You know, do you have a genetic disease, Parkinson's? Do you have Alzheimer's, dementia? Those are the kinds of info. You know, that's very personal information.
When you visit the hospital, do you pay cash or do you have insurance?
Yeah. Have you ever had a miscarriage? Have you ever had children? Have you ever had an abortion?
You know?
Those are and you know, that's like deeply personal data.
Mbuvi, let me tell you something that people don't understand about data. Because in digital comms, you have to understand data. Because it shows you where the attention is. So if you say, Ayala, we need you to do a digital comms strategy for us.
Yes.
I will have to look at your analytics. So if I'm looking at your analytics, then I'll be able to tell this demographic listens to this and that. You know, you're able to tailor it because it's a lot of information. Someone said they didn't understand why Meta bought WhatsApp for as much as it bought WhatsApp for.
Yes.
You had already given Meta your date of birth. your email address willingly,
your location.
Then they decided, firstborns tap in with a photo. So because you're a firstborn, you tapped in with your photo. So now Meta knows, you were born on this date, you are a firstborn. If you have siblings, tap in. If you those two challenges that people do, it's just a way of collecting data for these platforms. So now Meta knows your dad died, your mom is still alive, you live in Nairobi, you don't live in the posh areas of Nairobi, you like Colgate as a toothpaste brand, but we can convince you to move to Aquafresh, you use Sunlight, but Omo, it can be, they get all this data because of our social media use.
Yeah.
And that's why you will see it, and you will see a very specific advert of something that you are considering to buy, because it's the algorithm that has bitten you to eat. See at your phone is spying on your money. It's your habits.
A couple of years ago, I walked into a supermarket. I bought stuff, and I spent a lot of money in that supermarket. So when I walked out, 2 minutes later, literally between walking out and getting to the parking lot, I received a message from a rival supermarket. And they were selling to me more or less what I had bought from this first supermarket. But they were convincing me that they were cheaper. You know? They were telling me, this one, CG what % off. This one, CG 50 shillings off. The things that I had bought, to za kaida za nyumba. Maziwa, mkate, sabuni, hizo vitu tu. Now they were telling me this one, whatever off. This one, X amount off. Because the moment you get to the counter and then you pay, someone has already received your data. They know the items that you have bought, the quantity of those items, the quality of those items. So they will know, okay, so this guy likes this soap.
Yeah.
Why don't we sell him the same soap cheaper? Or he likes this soap, but we can convince him, just like you have said, to buy this other soap, which is cheaper.
Yeah, let's tell him this is the male version of this soap.
Yes.
So that he can buy the male Let's put it in blue and write men. Cool.
Now, the government is selling, or rather wants to sell, that kind of information that you have given them for free and make a fortune out of it.
Yeah.
Hata nifikirie kama mwanabiashara. You will get nothing out of this.
Nothing. Not even development.
They won't tell you, Mungala movie, you know what? That data you've been giving us, wow, you have no idea. So we happened to make 10,000 shillings out of your data, and we are thinking, you know what? You take some 5,000, we'll keep the other 5,000. Or, funny, this year you don't pay taxes, because we have already used your data and we have made so much money from it. So don't pay taxes this year. Keep your money. That is definitely not going to happen. And we do not know where this information is going to end up. We are living in the era of conspiracy theories, whether you like it or not. Do you know what wanasema hii COVID tulikuanga nayo 2020 was actually tailor-made to maybe even clear or kill a certain population. Now,
I would be shocked.
I don't want to scare anyone, because look, these are my thoughts. They're not even those thoughts. They're not even the thoughts of Radio Generation. But I can tell you, me, in the life that I have lived and I've seen, sometimes nothing is far from the truth.
True.
Then here we're grappling with Ebola. I'm not saying that Ebola has been sent to Africa, because Africa has had Ebola anyway for very many decades. I think the first case was in 1972. Was it 1972? No, I could be wrong on that. But, we've had Ebola for a while. Yeah? And here we are, alive and kicking. But suddenly Ebola has become such a big thing. We have survived Ebola 1, Ebola 2. We have survived swine flu. We have survived avian flu and very many other flus that could have killed us.
Yeah.
But now this one suddenly is becoming a big thing.
And the funny thing is they're saying this is not even the most dangerous strain of Ebola virus. So I feel like we are being distracted from something, or there's something else before this point evaporates in my head. Because mom brain. The data that's going to be sold, this non-personal data, it's okay, whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
Because now I'm thinking, the first people who came as explorers to Africa, they said they came to do what? Tulikuwa tumekam tu kutembea, tulikuwa tunatembea tuone huku kunaenda aje. And then later on the missionaries came. then later on we were colonized. These things did hatukuamka tu asubuhi ati and people were all over our land trying to take our land away from us. It was gradual.
Yeah.
So this data that has been is going to be sold.
Yeah.
Data, now you see, like the Chinese, they make their plans 50 years in advance. So sahi hao washaanza ku make plans za 2070.
Okay.
Uko kuenda na uko mbele. Now, you are selling this data for your populace to a Western or Eastern, whichever power you have sold it to.
They could be selling it to Uganda for all we care.
Exactly. If these people are thinking 50 years ahead of us, can you imagine now when my child is 50, watakuwa wametumia hiyo data kufanya nini? Because we are going to be colonized again. It's not going to be called colonialism. It's going to come with a very nice woke word, but at the baseline of it, we are going to be colonized.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever heard of Germany selling its data to anyone?
No.
Have you heard of Sweden
selling?
No. Have you heard America saying that, we have data here to the highest bidder? Someone come.
No.
So it's happening here in Africa because why? What is this unique thing about our data that the government is thinking they will make money out of it?
I feel it's for personal, selfish interests.
Today we cannot walk into a place like, let me choose a random, Switzerland, and tell them, we as Kenya, we want your data.
We have decided we want a quarantine center here in Paris, just outside Paris, because when our Kenyan nurses and doctors get Ebola from out here, we don't want Ebola coming into our borders. So you keep them there.
Yeah.
We will give you these small monies.
But we are like, munataka? Kujeni hapa. Hata data mnataka, mkona how much? It's like when, those guys out wanakwanga mahawkers, they'll negotiate with you on everything and anything.
Even if you did not want to buy.
Yeah, kwambia kikombe chukua na 500.
Unauza chumvi.
Unamwambia sina 500 kwa hiyo anakuambia okay, uko na ngapi? Unamwambia leo sina, anakuambia leta 350 basi uchukue. Unamwambia sina 350, anakuambia basi chukua na 500. Unamwambia sina 500, cheki fanya hivi, nimekupatia basi na 200. Baka unamwambia bro, sitaki kikombe. Okay, fanya hivi, sulete 50 uende nayo basi. Nifungie kazi. And you're like, bro, I really do not need your cup. To be honest, I don't want it. But here we are as Africa.
In the morning, you said our president went to Azerbaijan.
Yes, he did.
So, what are we benefiting from Azerbaijan, we as Kenyans? What exactly did he talk about uko Azerbaijan? Like, what did he go tell them?
When I asked that question, I was asking because I honestly want to. Excuse me, nimekuja kujua hakunanga swali ya ujinga. Hakuna swali ya kijinga. So I hope folks don't think that I was trying to laugh at our president.
No.
Or I was trying to be ignorant or anything. But I honestly don't know what we can do in Azerbaijan, because if someone tells me what we can do, I swear I will invest today. I will
Azerbaijan.
I will go take a loan from a bank and tell them, look, President Ruto was in Azerbaijan and there are opportunities to sell chicken. So I want a loan. I want to export 1,000 chicken today. I promise you, I'll take a loan and take it there, because it looks like an untapped area. I will not go to Finland because me nishasoma, I think nimesoma ya kutosha. Sijui nini ingine naweza fanya Finland. I will not go to the US because I have been to the US before and I can tell you, I honestly do not know why people rush to go there. It's a good place for sure, but I'd rather struggle here. And I can choose many other countries. I would want to do flowers, but me I don't have a flower farm in Naivasha, so I won't lie at you, I'll export flowers to Europe. Here, Azerbaijan, it looks like some untapped opportunity. I just need to know what Azerbaijan needs, and I swear I will take a loan. He went to where else did he go? After Azerbaijan kuna mali alienda. Was it Kazakhstan?
Oh my
God. There's a place he went. No, see, after Azerbaijan he went to a place. I'm forgetting the name of the place. I also want to know the opportunities there, because I have very many friends from high school to campus, mtaani to primary school. I do not know a single Kenyan who is in Azerbaijan, and I'm sure they're there. I am certain. If we go to Azerbaijan today, I will meet a Kenyan, but I do not know a single Kenyan. I know people in the Scandinavian countries. I know people in the US, in the UK, in Germany. I know very many people, even in Latin America, places like Brazil. Maliwezi fikiria watu wanaweza enda. In Azerbaijan, I want to know what conversation our president had with that country, so that I also know how to tap in into that opportunity.
Mimi, if it weren't for that Europa final that Arsenal failed, I would have never known there's a country in this universe called Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan actually has some pretty good football clubs.
I did not know about Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
And my bad. I feel like government wants Kenyans to be transparent, or tell us how much you're making so that we can tax you. Tell us where you go to. Tell us how you spend your time. All these things. But government doesn't tell us what it is doing in our name, on our behalf.
Yeah.
If you're going to borrow, it's okay. It's okay to ask for loans. If you're going to Azerbaijan to borrow a loan, can you tell us as Kenyans, this is the area we need to develop. Azerbaijan has developed this area this way. So we need this loan from them because they will support us, because this is something that they do. And this is how you're going to benefit. We never get that accountability.
Yeah.
Once you start asking questions about something, mnaanza kuambiwa, oh, you're politicizing, oh, ni kelele. The other day when the residents in Laikipia were protesting against the quarantine center, the CS for Health came out and said, kelele za watu watano.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even think Kenyans have a brain enough to voice their concerns. The contempt that government has for us. And it reminds me of that maandamano day. We were outside parliament making noise and they were in there voting yes. Alafu wanakuja kutu. I actually was hoping that MP would be here ndo aseme tunasikizanga ground, nimuulize ni ground gani mnasikiza, because ground was literally outside parliament telling you no, and you people voted yes. So ni ground gani yo mnasikizanga?
Trust me, I have asked that question so many times to so many MPs and senators and God knows who else, and the answer is always the same. Hiyo kitu ilikuwa mzuri sana. Ni venye mko mnaielewa. Anyway, I want us to take a short break. When we return, of course, the conversation continues, na pia niangalia mahali wageni wetu wamefika. Like I told you earlier on, we were supposed to be hosting a constitutional lawyer, Ndegwa Njiru. Unfortunately, well, I don't know if he has made it back, or rather made it here. Currently, he's, the last I checked, because by the time we were going on air, that Gachagua'S thing was going on. So I don't know whether he has left, and if he left, whether he can make it here on time. The other guest is supposed to be Honorable Gigi Kagombe, MP Gatundu South. Wacha nikunywe maji kidogo, alafu nikuje niwaambie kama hao majamaa kwa kweli wamekuja. So here is that break. Don't go too far. We'll be right back.
Radio Generation, the home of urban soul. This week, power was tested in the corridors of leadership, economies shook under pressure, and the voices of ordinary citizens demanded to be heard. From breaking decisions in high office to protests in the streets, from moments of triumph to tragedies that stopped us in our tracks, these are the headlines that shaped our week. And beyond the noise, we search for what really matters: the connections, the context, the stories behind the stories. And this is your weekly news roundup on Radio Generation, where every headline has a heartbeat and every moment counts.
All right, here we are. We're back. The time right now is 3 minutes past 8 o'clock. I have made that very shocking discovery that our guests are nowhere to be seen. But the case at the court is still ongoing, so I don't know for a fact. Counsel Ndegwa Njiru is definitely not going to make it here tonight, but hiyo yake tunaelewa. Huyu mwingine simu hashiki, kwa hivyo ile siku tutampata atahafu kutueleza ni kwa sababu gani hajaweza kufika hapa siku ya leo. But wacha nisalimie watu wawili watatu hapa katika mtandao. We have Andy. Is it Andy or Andy? It's Andy. Andy Andrew says, back in the days, we used to say the rage we had was slowed down by the food cooked with a hint of kerosene. Ama hamkuaga na hiyo story. Well, let me tell you something, Andrew. Hiyo story ilikuwa. I don't know if you had such rumors. Which high school did you go to?
I went to Bunyore Girls.
In Bunyore, did you hear that story of having paraffin in your food?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually,
was it true?
Ilianza from primary school. I was in a boarding school in primary school, so I had hizo stories. I don't remember if chakula yetu iliekwa kerosene, but I am more concerned about the biology behind that. Is it something that works ama ni pseudoscience?
Yeah, so sidhani hiyo kitu ni ukweli. I don't think it's true. Well,
is kerosene a hormone suppressant?
No, come on.
No, because I've had that so many times.
Yeah.
So many times. Even from people who've worked in high schools as cateresses. I've heard that story.
Well, Andy goes on to say, the distractions are to make us forget... Where is this comment going to? The distractions are to make us forget the flying president. Na juzi tu ndio ametoka South Africa. Yeah. When he left Azerbaijan, alienda... We, Yego, venye alitoka Azerbaijan, alienda wapi? So, then we have Andy saying, just asking, where is that Azerbaijan on the map? His Excellency will say the Azerbaijanians. Kianga, is there something? Like, anyway, the Azerbaijan... when the people of His Excellency will say the people of Azerbaijan have been friends with Kenya for the longest time and they are a good market for our tea. Yeah, so I don't understand. But with time, we shall know why exactly he went to Azerbaijan and what exactly we can do with the folks of Azerbaijan. Because I am sure there is money somewhere as far as Azerbaijan is concerned.
Cost implication. And that is my greatest worry. Kwa sababu, ukiwa na madeni mingi, already mko na madeni, so uko na yo anxiety.
Yes.
Alafu bado mnaenda kuongeza madeni zenye mko nazo juu ya madeni. That is my greatest fear. What is going to be the cost implication of this whole Azerbaijan thing? All these trips he's making, Gachagua alisema alikuwa na 4 damsels. 40,000 feet above sea level.
Yeah. Now, some of the developing stories by then this hour, we have one from the courts. No evidence MPs and senators were biased against Gachagua, the court has ruled.
Oh.
Yeah. So High Court finds Parliament met public participation threshold in Gachagua ouster. And High Court declares Kindiki DP approval process constitutional.
So they're upholding the impeachment.
They at this point, my friend, there's no disapproving it. Yeah. But let me just read, for example, this approval process. What the High Court Justice Freda Mugambi has said. The High Court has upheld the nomination and approval of Kithure Kindiki as Deputy President, ruling that Parliament followed a lawful, transparent and constitutionally compliant process in endorsing his appointment. In a judgment delivered by Justice Freda Mugambi on behalf of a 3-judge bench, the court found that the National Assembly acted within the law and met the constitutional standards governing openness and accountability during the approval process. The judges rejected claims that the process violated constitutional provisions on public participation, holding that the nature of the decision before Parliament did not require a formal public engagement exercise. Yeah. So they have rejected claims that the process violated constitutional provisions on public participation, holding that the nature of the decision before Parliament did not require a formal public engagement exercise. And this is what the court said. Public participation, the purpose of which is to inform the narrative and policy of citizen-oriented public decision-making, would add nothing of constitutional value to a binary vote of this character, the court stated. Okay.
Wow.
According to the bench, the approval of a deputy president nominee falls within a category of parliamentary action where transparency and openness are the key constitutional requirements rather than public hearings or consultations. Sawa. The other one, no evidence. MPs and senators were biased against Gachagua. Now, the High Court has dismissed claims that the impeachment of former DP Rigathi Gachagua was driven by bias, predetermination of or conflicts of interest, ruling that petitioners failed to provide evidence showing that lawmakers acted outside their constitutional mandate during the process. Now, delivering the judgment on behalf of a 3-judge bench on Monday, Justice Eric Ogola said the allegations leveled against the speakers, members of parliament and senators were not supported by the material evidence and could not be sustained on the basis of political suspicion or inferences alone. The mere fact that members supported or opposed the impeachment of His Excellency Gachagua cannot stand alone establish constitutional bias, the court said. The last one about High Court finds Parliament met public participation threshold in Gachagua ouster. So what do they mean? The High Court has affirmed that Parliament conducted a lawful and constitutionally compliant public participation process during the impeachment of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, finding that the exercise gave Kenyans a genuine opportunity to express their views before lawmakers made a decision. The High Court has affirmed that Parliament conducted a lawful and constitutionally compliant public participation process during the impeachment. Okay, to be honest, I do not remember this happening, but if the court says that they met it, then they met it. But what do you make of this?
I feel like the government really flexed on Gachagua with this impeachment. The speed with which things moved. But I don't think they were dumb enough to go against anything that's within the law. I feel like they were smart enough to work within the law. Even if there is a loophole, maybe they explored that. But I don't think they did anything that would outrightly look like it's outside of the law. And that's the thing about fighting government. It's the same thing with fighting a doctor. You cannot win that war. You cannot win that war. They are always going to find a way to justify their actions.
Yeah. Well, for Rigathi, he did say that after this, he will seek to go to
the Court of Appeal.
Court of Appeal.
Yeah.
But at this point, I'll just tell him,
just stop wasting your money and your time.
No, pesa ako nayo.
Bro.
Pesa ako nayo. But at this point, I'll just tell him, maybe just focus on other things now.
Yeah. Because whether he's absolved of that or not, I think he has a say in Kenyan politics, whether we like it or not. Akona watu wake, wanamfuata, wanamwamini, wanamsikiza.
Akona ground.
So he needs to focus on that. He might not be on the ballot, but I feel like he has the power to decide who will be. Given where he is. Na siasa za Murema na what not. Maybe he should just focus his energies on that, because there's no way government is letting the courts win. What's going to be the implication of that legally? Because now if ever we get a government that is acting right and we decide, let's go back into historical injustices, what are going to be the implications of that if Gachagua wins this case?
Well, number one, he's right by day to go all the way to the Court of Appeal.
Yeah.
Sijui kama atapata nafasi, sijui kama kesi kama hizi zinafikanga Supreme Court, I don't know. But I'm just saying that he has got every right to get to the highest level of judgment as far as this case is concerned. But there are some things you just look at and ask yourself. However, picture this.
Yeah.
What if he actually does, decides to go all the way to the Court of Appeal, and then the ruling is in his favor? Do you know what that will mean?
Those are the kinds of implications that I'm thinking about.
What I know for a fact is that they will say, so now you were wrongly impeached, so now you're going to be reinstated. That is definitely not going to happen.
Definitely no.
But do you know what it would mean even going forward for future impeachments, whether it's over DP or over president or over governor?
Yeah.
Like this would be or can be a game changer. And perhaps if I'm thinking about it by the critically, wacha aende. Wacha afike huko mbele. No, by the way, wacha aende. Because akifika huko mbele na vitu zifanywe tu hua, I'm telling you, things will be very different.
But you
in this
see,
country.
this is what I'm thinking. I don't think government will just sit back and allow the courts to do it. I know people will say, oh, it's an independent institution. You can believe that if you want to believe
don't forget,
that.
judiciary is part of the government.
That is what I'm saying. I don't think they're going to let him win because this has a lot of implications. Like when you really think about it.
There are people who are saying that perhaps President Ruto would want this person to actually win this case so that he can legitimately, well, part of me feels like he will be a candidate next year. Part of me feels like he will be on the ballot because I've had conversations here with other politicians and analysts and so on and so forth, and everyone seems to think that he will be on the ballot come next year, whether as a running mate or as the main guy. Okay, and if they are true, if they are correct, sorry, if they are correct, then Gachagua will disrupt that election come next year. Because from the look of things, and again I could be wrong, but from the look of things, he has a sizable following. If we have a Ruto candidate and we have an opposition candidate and then we have Rigathi Gachagua as a candidate, I can tell you we shall go for a runoff.
Is going to do what the former president of South Africa, Jacob Zuma, did with his party.
ANC.
Yeah. The entire KwaZulu-Natal, I think, went with
him.
Yeah.
Now, if we do have a runoff, yes, because if no one gets 50+1, actually, if we have 3 big or strong candidates, we will definitely not have 50+1.
Yeah.
No, we might have someone with a simple majority, but not a 50+1. And what happens? The only other obvious case is buy one of the two. The strongest candidate will just need to buy out one of the two, just one. By them moja tu. He doesn't even need to buy the two of them, just one. Amwambie ni aje bro? We kuja, I'll even make you DP. I'll even make you prime minister. I'll even create an entire department just for you. What do you want to become? Do you want to become chief deputy prime minister? I will make you that. And the moment that happens, it is going to be Ruto's win for the taking.
Yeah.
So if this government wants to have that kind of situation, that kind of scenario in the next election, they will actually allow this guy to be on the ballot. And if he is on the ballot, you can be sure nyinyi watu mmekuwa mkiimba one time imeenda hivyo. I'm just letting you know in advance.
Usiseme hivyo na vile mimi ndio crusader wa one time kukuot.
Yeah. Yes. Now there's this other story here. It's a developing story, but it's been there for quite a while. Assault. LSK condemns arrest of ex-CJ Maraga during Nairobi National Park protest. And this is what they're saying. Yeah? The president of the Law Society of Kenya, Charles Kanjama, has condemned the reported arrest of former Chief Justice David Maraga and other protesters during a peaceful demonstration along Lang'ata Road opposing a proposed car park development within a section of Nairobi National Park. Now, in a statement posted on X on June 8, 2026, Kanjama described the incident as an assault on constitutional freedoms. So someone decided to arrest Chief Justice Emeritus Maraga. Your thoughts?
First of all, Nairobi National Park is the one thing that tunajivunia sana sisi kama wa Kenya. You're not just saying someone. Have you ever seen a capital city with a national park in it? I feel so nice every time I say that. That this government wants to take that away from us. You remember before Barabara, the expressway was built, the way Westlands used to look nice because of the trees that were besides the road. Have you seen Westlands to Kangemi recently? You know, it's just what does this government have against every beautiful green space that we have? What is it that they have against it? Aya, Karura ndio hao tena wameenda sijui wamekata miti ndio wajenge sijui nini. You mean to tell me zile 100 acres za kina Kenyatta zenye zimelala tu huko Karen, amunge wapa mchukua kidogo hapo mtengeneze car park? Like, they couldn't find land anywhere else other than within the national park. We don't have land anywhere else in this country. Zile mashamba zote zenye wakina Biwott walikufa wakawacha. We need a serious land audit in this country. We need to have serious zoning laws. We are not protecting our zones. At this point, it's just vibes and inshallah. Hey, Sakaja. Sakaja. Let me tell you, nimechange kura yangu kutoka Ushago to Nairobi so that I can vote Sakaja out. I want to vote him out because as the capital city of Africa, we are not acting like it. There's no planning. Kwanza nimesikia mtu amepatikana na 250 million. Unajua kwanza mbuvi mimi naishi kwa nyumba za kanjo. Let me tell you something. Last year Sakaja says, "Oh, you people mnaishi kwa hizo nyumba za kanjo, amlipi rent, so sijui nini." Walituvuruga. People were evicted. Understandably so. There are people who just take advantage of it because kanjo ikugongeangi mlango kila siku tarehe 5 every month. So you can go up to whatever number of years without paying. No one is asking you. And that is
Wait, ati kanjo doesn't do what? Doesn't collect rent? Like you pay, they send you a pay bill number and then you're supposed to pay, but no one comes to check whether you've paid or not. Oh really? So you can go months without paying?
Yeah. There are people who've gone years. What are you saying months? There are people who've gone years. Someone has 6 years. Na wewe pia tu na wewe umekaa kwa nyumba ya wenyewe unakaa miaka 6 haulipi, hiyo ni tabia gani?
So what happens the day they remember you haven't paid for 6 months?
So now,
or 6 years?
They evict you. See, that's what they did last year in May. So they went around all the kanjo estates. Walianza na Woodley, I think.
Oh yes, I remember there was that case. Yes.
Yeah. But then there's also another thing yenye walikuwa wanataka kutoa watu for affordable housing. There's multiple layers to
this story.
It. And I remember someone said, one of the kanjo employees actually said, hizi pesa mnalipa hapa sahi hazitafika kwa nini ya county, zinaenda kwa mifuko za watu. Funny how the pay bill number that people are using to pay ilikuwa inakuletea feedback message ya kusema it's a county account.
Okay.
Like it's a Nairobi City County account. Now, this year comes. So unapata uko na deni, you've been paying but unapata uko na deni. You go check. Hizo pesa watu walilipa hiyo siku. They never reflected. So now they send you, enda Safaricom uprint your statement ulete so that we can credit your account. Hizo stories zote. I am yet to see if mine has been credited because mine also
were you affected by that particular period?
No, but I paid some money kwa ground during your time period and that money did not reflect in the account.
What do you mean you paid kwa ground?
So now, when these guys, I was pregnant at that point. I was I think 7 months pregnant, and I took sure like what was going on. So like I paid when they came. I opted to pay hapo kwa ground rather than go to City Hall because now the queues at City Halls in Apanga mad.
But I thought you.
So the guy came. No, I wasn't going to get evicted, but the guy came. So I paid this money to this guy, and they
you gave him cash.
No.
You paid to a pay bill.
Yes, to a pay bill, a county pay bill. It actually says Nairobi City County Revenue Collection Account.
And then you receive you get a receipt?
I get a text. So I and then he says no, we don't have receipts. He signs a piece of paper for me. And I went with that piece of paper to City Hall plus the Safaricom statement. So they were like, oh no, it's okay. Haijamaanisha pesa yako imepotea, iko tu mahali. So I'm like, iko tu mahali ni wapi? And this is 1 year later.
Okay.
So hiyo pesa yenye iko tu mahali imekuwa tu mahali, hiyo mahali ni wapi?
And were you paying to that pay bill number before that period?
Yes.
So this is the pay bill number you had been using?
Yes, because sometimes you go to City Hall. So they usually generate like a specific one and then they send you a text message for each house.
Okay.
And then if that one doesn't, because systems sometimes, so if that one doesn't work, there is a general one that they call global billing. So this global billing one is the one that people were using.
Okay.
Because when they came, walisema systems
ziko down.
So people are paying to that global billing one. And then it's not reflecting. So now unasikia mtu ameshikwa na 250 million kwa nyumba. Alitoa wapi hiyo 250 million kwa nyumba? Huyu ni mfanyikazi wa Kanjo.
Are we talking about the one that was found with 65 million? Ama a different one?
Huyu wajuzi analo. Was it 65? They said it was 250.
According to EACC, the last I checked that, so it was 65.3 million.
Initially they said 250. How that now moved from 250 to 65 is also another thing we need to ask, because EACC also, we need to relook institutions in this country. Kwa sababu tuko na an institution for everything. We have a disaster management authority. We have a flood sijui and water sijui what nini. Lakini kila rainy season we are getting floods. So easy institutions that are getting money from the exchequer, kazi yao haswa nini. And then EACC, when they say, oh, this, and then they change to that. And then all these things that they are recovering, where does this money go? Who accounts for this money?
Okay.
And the way you've said the Gachagua thing in courts.
Yeah.
We have parliament to oversight all the other arms of government. Who oversights parliament? Who oversights parliament for us?
That is our responsibility as citizens, to oversight parliament, or rather to hold them to account.
Na tulikuwa nje ya parliament tukisema no and they said yes uko ndani.
Imagine that's how you, like, every constituency needs to check their parliamentarian. For example, I come from Kitui, so and I used to vote there. I don't know where I'll vote next year. I think I'll now have to vote in Nairobi. But the work that I was doing allowed me that flexibility to vote in shags, yeah? And I'm supposed to hold my MP to account. So the things that he promised, for example, has he delivered?
Mbuvi, where do you get your MP?
Interestingly enough, I've actually even said it here on air. I actually have his number. I can call him anytime I want. But that's me. Maybe it's because I'm a radio personality.
Yes.
I can call him anytime, ask him anything that I want.
Yes.
I don't know about other citizens.
That's the thing, because it's easier to meet God than to meet your MP in this country.
So holding our MPs to, like, I've been on his case because kuna sehemu yoko kwetu Shagwa haina stima. Actually, my grandparents' homestead haina stima. They rely on solar, and it's a big pain. So I have been on his case, and actually sometimes even when I host other MPs here, I tell them, Ebu go and remind daktari tunahitaji huko stima bana. And every time, because I meet him a lot in functions za huko home, whether it's a wedding, it's a burial, and he attends all of them. He attended my brother's burial, he attended my grandmother's burial, he attended my grandfather's burial. So like he's a very present MP as far as the ground is concerned. So it's very easy for us to catch up with him and just ask him, yo, what's up? And sometimes he has actually done a lot, because he has been elected several times, so people wouldn't be voting for him if he didn't deliver.
But
that's just one case out of the 290 members of parliament that we have. So I don't know, do you hold your MP to account, for example?
I do. I actually don't have complaints with, I have some complaints, but it's nothing that. And this is the thing, I think also because of the nature of my work, I have access to some legislators. So it's a bit easy for me to say, I can call so-and-so up and follow up on this issue. My MP is Mark Mwenje. Minimal complaints. There are complaints, but minimal complaints. He's doing a great job. I think the people love him. He's been present. He's said the right things on the floor of the house. He has represented us. Embakasi West, by the way, I feel represented by my MP. But you see, collectively, this is the thing. Individually, we can say these things about our MPs, but collectively, as a house,
right?
Collectively, they're not hitting the mark. They're not hitting the mark at all.
Yeah. So it is up to us as Kenyans to hold these people to account. Now, in terms of oversight, you were asking earlier on, we also have the office of the Auditor General. The auditor, every once in a while, he will tell us which MPs are performing, which ones are not, where there are some questionable, accounts. He will tell us, for example, this MP is doing this one hasn't, this one there's some questions as far as bursaries are concerned. So if your MP happens to appear in that list, it is upon you as the constituents to actually go and ask him, nani Auditor General ametuambia bursaries kuna some 50 million missing, kindly explain.
I sometimes na feeling ni kama hizi reports za Auditor General, by the way, zinakujanga kutu rage bait, or for lack of a better phrase, because after you've told us, what do you want us to do with the information? Okay, fine, we've heard you. That MP is not performing. That governor did not use any money for development. They just went on trips and all this and all that. Who then is supposed to pick up the baton from that report?
Yes.
And persecute?
Now,
because as citizens, we can't do that. Auditor General atakwambia, mi kazi yangu ni ku-audit. Nime-audit, nimewapatia report.
Ni ukweli, and she's very right. Kazi ya Auditor General ni kukuambia mimi nime-audit. Na yeye kazi yake ni ku-raise questions. Seek clarity. To say that in this budget, for example, if it's your governor, in this budget, you had said that you're going to buy towels. You had said that you are going to buy wheelbarrows. You had said that you're going to pay these workers. So the Auditor General just raises questions. We do not see where that money went. We saw it left the account. We just don't know where it went. Or we see it went to this account. We don't recognize this account. So it's up to the governor to say that, no, that account is this account, and this is where the money came, and this is what the money did. So now it is up to the executor of that responsibility to say what happened. Auditor na unajua wanaenda mpaka parliament and they ask these questions in Senate, I think it is, or parliament, depending on the person being questioned, but they're usually present. The office of the Auditor General is always present in that questioning because they're the ones who raise the question, so they have to be there to clarify the question in case it is not understood by either the members of parliament or by the governor or MP or whoever is being questioned. Yes. So auditor, by the way, I can say this Auditor General and the previous one, hats off to them. They have done a really good job, and the control of budget as well. Yeah.
So you see, that's my thing, is they do that and then someone else drops the ball, and I feel like it's a never-ending cycle.
But we are the ones, we as the voters, we are the ones who drop the ball.
You see, that's the other thing, because pia sisi wenyewe tunafaa ku self-reflect. The leaders that we vote for, they are a reflection of us. So if we keep voting for leaders wenye wako wayward, what does that say about us as a people? What does that say about us? Tunafaa ku check integrity yetu pia. But also we need to make sure that tuko na systems that are running. Which country was this that went without a president? Sijoma, was it a prime minister for around 6 months? There's a country in Europe.
Okay.
They went without a president for I think 6 months, and the country just kept on running because systems.
Yes, institutions work. Yeah.
Yes. But you see, for us, institutions are not working. Ni kama kila kitu iko under the control of the executive. So the executive coughs and then everybody else just reacts.
Ni kwa sababu, you see, even we sat here with the chief registrar of the judiciary, and we had a very extensive conversation rather, on some of these issues that you're raising. For example, he did say that, you see, it is the executive that eventually will release the budgets to them. So, and what is it called? Parliament is the one that will approve that budget. Sindio? Yeah. So you find that Parliament does this, then we have Treasury that is supposed to release those funds. So the judiciary is literally at the behest of its twin brothers.
You see, I thought we solved this the decentralization thing with the 2010 constitution. But then also ikona loopholes na gaps that need more legislation.
Judiciary inafaa kuwa na pesa yake, venye IEBC inafaa kuwa na pesa yake,
Yeah.
venye the Rights Commission inafaa kuwa na pesa yake, vile NCIC inafaa kuwa na pesa yake independently.
Alafu pia si president ana appoint akinominate hawa watu wote. Like, can we remove that power from the executive? Because I can't say ati the IEBC is independent, but then I'm the one who's appointing whoever is going to chair, whoever is going to do what.
But, there's a committee that decides on who's going to be in the in so, for example,
who approves? Even if the committee say, who approves?
Opposition donates someone. Gava donates. Then the public also donates. There's someone who does that on behalf of the public, which again, unfortunately, is the executive. So when all these people meet, but hapo kwa opposition, na ndio maana ile time walikuwa na appoint ile committee ilikuwa inafaa ku make nominations za IBC, akina Kalonzo were making a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Because they were saying that something is amiss somewhere. But they straightened it out and they approved the process nonetheless. So there's someone who sits down somewhere and calls all these guys, including the opposition, and tells them, guys, we now want you to help us make this. So hiyo sita zushia executive sana, where I will apportion blame. 150%, by the way, is on us. We are the same guys who appoint that president that you are complaining about. That opposition, whether we elect them or not, we are the ones who put them in opposition. We are the ones who decide the members of parliament, and we're the ones who approve the MCAs. Let's not forget that government has got 2 levels of oversight. MCA level, which oversights the counties. Then we have the senators who oversee counties as well. Then we have MPs who oversight
government.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with
so
you.
If we do not get it right there, then all these complaints we are making are for nothing.
I don't disagree with you, Mbuvi, but mi nataka pia siku, unless if by we unasema nyinyi watu wa media. Lakini kama wa Kenya, I want to tetea us kama wa Kenya. There are various variables zenye we don't talk about when it comes to our election cycle. A lot of people think election cycle inaanzanga na ile siku umeenda umepiga kura na inaisha jioni after kura zimehesabiwa, which is not true. The election cycle is a continuous thing. You know, like kuna different stages that we need to look into. And for now, I wish I had this information before, because I would have done a lot of sensitization around it.
Okay.
For someone to tell me before every general election, there has to be an audit of the register, so that we figure out the people who have died. You know, like all these things, it needs to be cleaned up. The last time this lady is called, the one who's now at IBC, came from TSC, was, I think, in one of the TV stations, I don't remember which one, and she was being asked about the audit of the register, and she said nothing about it. Some very vague answer. Very vague answer. So first of all, as I said, we don't interact with our elections, our leaders, politics in our formative education years, and then you get to 18 and you're magically expected to know all these things. We can't. We need to change that. We need to stop demonizing politics in our houses, because I'm sure kwenye ungeanza kuongea siasa kama bado uko shule ungekemewa, ungekatata kulipewa school fees. We need to stop demonizing politics. We need to understand that politics affect each and every day and aspect of our lives, first of all.
Yeah.
Na hiyo ndio kitu wa Kenya hawaelewi. A Kenyan doesn't understand when the finance bill is passed na iko na some punitive clauses in it. That means your day-to-day life itakuwa affected. We don't relate our day-to-day problems to politics. Ndio kwa maana mtu atakwambia, mimi mambo ya siasa mimi siongeangi. Siasa we need to normalize politics ikuwe nika kukunywa breakfast.
Yeah.
You know, the way mnasemanga Waluya tunapenda kuku na ugali, tunapenda ni ukweli. We need to normalize politics like that. Because once people understand how this affects their day-to-day lives, how their challenges are connected to politics, then it'll make more sense for them to be participating in it.
I love a comment from one of our listeners hapa anaitwa Kevin Scout on YouTube. Kevin Scout amesema Don't judge promises, judge responsibilities.
Yes.
This is as far as our elected leaders are concerned. So whether it's the MCA, MP, woman rep, governor, whatever, if we actually look at it from this perspective of judging responsibility as opposed to nitawajengea barabara,
Nitajengea hospitali,
because you know those things they say they are lies, eh?
Yeah.
MPs do not even have the power to construct roads. They don't even have the funds to construct those roads. But the moment we judge them on ati sasa MP wetu hajatuletea barabara or MP wetu hajatuletea maji, that's where we fail.
Yeah.
The responsibilities, three main responsibilities of MPs, for example, is representation, oversight, and legislation.
Yeah.
So has your MP legislated? Do you see them on the floor of the House? Do they vote on critical bills in Parliament, for example? In terms of oversight, have they done their work as far as oversight is concerned? Because once they oversight, imagine you'll start seeing roads in your area.
Yeah.
Once they oversight, imagine you'll start seeing water in your area. Because guess what? All these things are in the budget.
They've been budgeted for.
And
you're paying taxes for them.
That money is somewhere in a relevant ministry for you. Whether it's about construction of schools, ECD centers, hospitals, hizo vitu zote ziko kwa budget. And as long as your MP is doing his or her work on oversight, my friend, you will never need for him or her to tell you at all will construct a road. Tumeongea juu ya legislation, mimi ingine tumesema legislation, oversight na representation. Are they representing you? Because if they actually do represent you, that the fact that people die on the streets of Nairobi will be a thing of the past. Or on the streets of anywhere else, whether it's Kitengela or Machakos, and everywhere else they are dying. Yeah? Imagine Kenyans will stop dying. Because if your MP is giving your president grief, if your MP is talking to the relevant ministries and telling them, look, my people are saying A, B, C, D, this hasn't happened. Imagine Rex Masai would still be alive today.
Yeah.
Imagine Albert Ojwang would still be alive today. If our MPs did oversight, if our MPs did legislation, if our MPs did representation. Because your MP should literally stand in the space where Albert Ojwang stood. Our MPs should have stood on the spot that Rex Masai stood when he was shot dead. Our MPs, there's that gentleman who was shot again in Nairobi, Boniface Mwangi.
The mask
face
guy,
mask.
Yeah.
Our MPs should have been in that space where they should have represented Boniface Mwangi at the spot where he was shot dead. Boniface Mwangi shouldn't have been there. Rex Masai should not have been there. And anyway, we shouldn't have had that conflict that Kenyans had with the police. That conflict should have died in Parliament when the voice of Kenyans said unequivocal no to the finance bill. That right there should have been representation. And at the same time, that was supposed to have been oversight. And at the same time, that was supposed to be legislation. Because Kenyans were protesting the finance bill, which was to be, which they voted into an act that eventually the president said that he will not assent to.
Yeah.
So,
and that they have now snuck in just back everything that we said no to.
If they just did those three things, forget building a road, forget constructing schools, forget CG hiring teachers, because the other day we saw them handing out letters from the Teacher Service Commission. That is not the work of an MP. Surely, hiyo kazi ngumu ndio kuniambia MP anaweza shindwa.
I sat with an MP once and alisema the conflict comes in where common mwananchi wants tangible things. Those things we are saying ni kazi ya MP are not tangible to them as per that MP that I was talking to. And they were, now here's the funny thing about it. I was having a conversation with them. To me, in my head, I was having a conversation with them. I was asking questions, seeking clarity, seeking accountability. The other young people that I were with walikuwa wanasema mimi nachoma. So you see, we are also the problem, because why aren't you...
Ulikuwa nachoma because ulikuwa unafanya nini?
Nilikuwa namuuliza maswali. You know, it's just if you people did the job that you're actually supposed to do, as you've said, we wouldn't be having this problem. So the MP is of the mind that sisi tunatakanga kuona hizo barabara, shule, nini, ndio tusikie ni kama MP wetu anafanya kazi. Hizo vitu tunasema za legislation na representation huko kuongea parliament, hizo sio vitu sisi tunaona. So hata akienda afanye hizo vitu, tutasikia ni kaja afanya kazi. So paka akuja afanye hizi vitu za kufanya optics, ndio wase wamvotie tena. So our understanding of politics na the responsibilities of our leaders, I swear to God, sometimes I see some MPs speaking and I think they don't even know their job description. They don't.
Let me tell you, majority of them don't.
Yeah, they don't.
If you interrogate what some of them say, what some of them do, you will actually realize. Now, easy jokes by the way. I'm not saying this because there's a general bad mouthing of members of parliament. No, I'm actually telling you something that is real. They do not know.
Yeah.
If someone can stand in parliament or in public and say, sitasoma hii kitu because baba alisoma, for example.
First of all, ni nani aliandika? Because si inafaa kutoka kwenu. Aren't you the legislators?
This person saying that sitasoma because, you know, nani amenisoma fulani amenisoma, because it's not just about one individual, it's about several. That already tells you. Let me give you another indicator that these guys do not know their work. They voted the finance bill, right? The 2024 one that had a lot of people killed in the streets. Then when the president said that he will not assent to that bill,
they clapped and cheered.
Wote wakapiga nduru na mayowe vigelegele,
as if they're not the ones who
yet they are the same folks who brought Kenya to where they brought it at that particular point. So you want to tell me that huyo ni mtu ambaye anajua kazi yake?
I think for fun, when they come here, just like that should be the first question you ask them. Like, what's the job description? I'm telling you, we
have asked that question to very many MPs. I think it will just be a waste of time to ask anymore.
They don't know. But anyway, yote tisa. La 10, sisi kama voters, tujiangalie sana. Because it starts and ends with us. If we scrutinize, now this is the thing that I don't get. Because hata ushago ndio mtu aandikwe kazi kama shamba boy ama mtu wa kuchunga ng'ombe, you scrutinize that person. Unataka kujua ametoka village gani, grandfather yake ni nani, clan yao ni nini, sijui wako na history nini. But then when we are picking our legislator, we don't do that. We don't scrutinize them enough.
Again, another comment here from Kevin Scott. Kevin anasema, for major bills, MPs should give a written explanation for their vote, not just a yes or a no.
I actually agree with that.
You know me, what I think? When it comes to voting, MPs should do it from their constituency.
Yes.
Vote from your constituency office or constitutional office, whatever they're called. There's a constituency office.
Na utupatie explanation as to why.
Akuje hapo, avotie hapo.
Tunataka kukusikia.
Wasiende parliament wa debate, waseme, oh, this bill is good, this bill is bad, oh, this is what should be added, this is what should be minused, and then waambie, okay guys, everyone go back
to your constituency
and vote. Na sisi tukuje hapo hiyo siku wana vote. And before they cast their vote, wayeke hivyo waseme, mimi kama member of parliament wa Kitui Central, I hereby vote yes
or no.
Or I hereby vote no, and they cast their vote. That way, I can assure you, no amount of brown envelopes
will be sufficient.
I do not care how much money someone thinks they have. They will be unable to do such kind of bribery. And I'm telling you, things will be straight. But I like what Kevin is saying. For major bills, MPs should give a written explanation for their vote, not just a yes or a no.
Yes.
Perhaps even during public participation, MP akuje kwa ground. Like, you know the way you are told by your supervisor?
Yes.
When you get to the ground, I need a report, I need a photo, I need you standing here, I need to see this. Send photos of what you have done. I think MPs should do that. They need to come to the ground. Now, waambie wa Kenya, ama constituents wao, I shall be in this market on this day to discuss the finance bill with you. And I want you to give me your ninis. Na hii kweni mandatory. Moses Wetangula, I make sure amepata all 290 submissions.
Yes.
Na ambiwe, This is what MP wa hapa amesema, MP wa hapa amesema hivi, na hapa amesema hivi, na wa Kenya in those particular areas have said this. So that wewe umeketi hapa kwa jukwaa na MP wako na mkasikizana vizuri, hiki tunavotia no sawa,
alafu ameenda amesema yes,
so that by the time we occupy their homes mtu asiseme sikujua hii, sikuona hii na kuja, I didn't see this coming. That will be a lie.
Instant justice.
you see there has got to be a way of doing this public participation in a better way, and for us to hold our elected leaders to account. If you look at, and we like talking about Makueni County here, Professor Kivuza Kibwana. How is it that Professor achieved public participation? Like, that guy used to go to the markets. That guy used to go to schools.
Have you heard him here?
Yeah, he has come on, but on a different show. He has gone to schools, he has gone to markets, he has gone to hospitals. Like, he deals with the people.
Yes.
Yeah. So how was it that he was able to achieve to a point whereby he's now a retired governor, but he just lives a normal life?
Yeah, he lectures at
a Daystar.
Yeah.
And not just him. We can pick out very many examples. But what is it that he did that he has achieved so much love from his people? So we just need one example that works and we replicate it.
Yeah.
I don't see what's so difficult about our members of parliament just coming and asking, guys, what do you want? Because every time they'll say, but you see, my hands are tied. Someone told me that I have to go. What is so difficult to just come into the ground and saying, guys, mnatakaje? And then he just goes back to the powers that
be. Wase wangu wamesema.
Nimeambiwa. Mbogi imesema tu no.
I honestly don't understand because if I'm supposed to represent you, na umesema no, what's so difficult? I'm the messenger. I did not decide. I'm just the messenger.
Yeah.
But I guess personal interest and selfish greed comes before.
I've told you
any other sensible
the moment our MPs understand those three things, but more so when we also understand, we as the voters, of course, when we as the voters understand that is what is expected of them.
Yes.
Because I can assure you, even voters do not know the responsibility of their members of parliament.
100%.
In their head, my MP is supposed to build a hospital.
Yeah.
In their heads, our MP is supposed to build
road, water, steamer.
Yes. That is not their work. That is, unless your MP is an engineer and works for Kenya, your MP will never build a road for you. Your MP doesn't bring water to you. Your MP is not the one who will construct a hospital or maternity. Your MP is supposed to do three, two. And the moment you understand that, these guys and senators, of course, because senators have got a similar mandate, legislation, oversight, representation, same as the MCAs.
Yeah.
The moment you understand that, ndio sababu ndio ile time MP ama aspirant atakuja kuambia nitawajengea barabara, naambia bro, please stop with the lies, let's just get to the point. I need to understand the laws that you see, the gaps that you see as far as the legislation is concerned. The gaps that you see in oversight, the gaps that you see in representation. That is the only thing you need to understand from your member of parliament. Then governors have got budgets from here to Timbuktu. What has your governor, especially the ones who seek the ones seeking re-election? If today your governor comes and tells you I'm seeking re-election, muulize tu, last 5 years umekuwa in power.
Umedu.
Year 1, budget yako ilikuanga 1 billion. What did you do with that money? Year 2, your budget was another billion. Year 3, 4, 5. The moment they explain to you what they have done in the last 5 years as far as budgets, because you know what, as much as the president can go on a roadside and say, I will construct a road for you, yeah, hapa mtaanza kupata markets, hapa mtapata viwanda. As much as he does that, do you know how much your governor gets in terms of revenue?
Yeah.
Have you audited the budgets in your own county? Have you asked what he has done with the money that he was given? So that by the time you decide to re-elect him or her, my friend, you understand exactly who it is that you're re-electing.
But then you see also some of these things zinafanyika zikaeni kama ziko so complicated. I don't know if it's to deter people from participating in it or I don't know what purpose it serves, but it's important for us to understand that a politician will never put our interest before their own interest.
You know something
that's the thing
I came to understand when I joined this show. You see these bribes that we are usually given by politicians. You know, that's where we sell our soul, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. You see, it's because this one is using their money to come to tupatie hizo so mbili. Once they get into office, they start thinking of how to recoup the money that they spent on you. That is why pesa yote ya development ni yeye anajiekea, because anarudisha ile do alikuwa ametupea times za campaign. And sometimes you want to tell people, oh, usichukue hiyo do, but kama mtu amelala njaa siku mbili, alafu msame pita hapo anapeana so mbili, utamkataza akose kwenda kukula juu sasa hiyo akili yake inafikiria tu food na kuna do hapo yataenda kubai nayo food.
Yeah, and you're very right, but there's something else that was introduced to me in terms of the thought process of this thing. The moment the politician just thinks of dishing out money, you know, they'll never tell you anything meaningful.
No,
then they'll just be coming to give you money. And then the sloganeering part, you know, the 1 terms and the 2 terms and the must goes and the way this person is useless, but they will never actually tell you anything meaningful, because at the end of the day they have paid you to listen to their nonsense. Okay, so they will come, wewe utajua sasa juu uko na njaa, and by the way uko na njaa si uongo, si kuekelee uko na njaa by the way, but you see you're there and this person comes and tells you, oh, Mbuvi is a bad person. Mbuvi hata sijui akona watoto mahali nje outside wedlock. Mbuvi, but they're not telling you what they will do for you. Then they give you, because wewe unangoja 200, of course you won't oppose them and you won't tell them kwenda toka hapa. You won't tell them 1 term, you will shut up. You won't even tell them 2 term, you will just be there, utanyamaza ndio akupatie kenye anafaa kukupatia. But the moment you reject that money, the moment you do not take that sombili ama that 1,000, do you know this politician has got nothing, no other choice but to sell you the policies that he has for you. And if he or she doesn't have kama hana sera za maana za kuuza, unajua ataenda.
Unaona, that is the thing, the politicians themselves don't have policies, and then the nature of the way we politique does not allow us to interact with them. They come to talk at us, we don't have a conversation with them. So wanakuja wanasimama hapo juu, wanashout vitu zenye wanashout, alafu wanaenda. We don't get an opportunity to interrogate, to question, to seek clarity. We don't.
But it is because they already know the kinds of people they're dealing with.
So you see, that's why they don't do door-to-door campaigns, because if you come to my door, me, I will ask you critical questions and I will wait for answers.
Let me tell you something. You have seen on social media the way some of the politicians have words of cash.
Yes.
Wengine bako wanapipa pesa na ratili because it's too much to count. So you see, when you see Mbuvi, Paul Mongala Mbuvi having money and anaipima na kipimi ile ratili ile kipimi alafu usikie Paul Mongala Mbuvi atakuwa anakuja kwa area yenu, unadhani utakuwa unataka kusikiza sera zangu ama unataka nikugawele zile pesa uliona social media? Si utasema umseni niliangalia hiyo pesa inakani kama hiyo.
Kuna mado.
Hiyo ikienda chini sana ni 100 million, si ndio?
When I nasikiza nasema nini maziwa mrefu.
And then when I come to your area, you know, the way I'm dressed up, the kinds of cars I'm coming with, bwana, you don't even have time to, you won't even think of asking me what I'm going to do for you.
Do you know?
You're just waiting for ndio huyu Mbuvi amefika, pesa imefika.
Our former MP had perfected that. George Theory, he had perfected that art. He'd post things on Instagram with money na tunini ka soft life. By the time anatokea ground na drip na gari yake, you know, people are just thinking of the content they've seen on Instagram. So,
and that's the thing, because
there's no time to even tell him what am I what. It's just
politicians have already mastered the art. Yes, the art of, let me call it magic, showing us something with one hand, but the real action is happening with the other hand. Hii pesa unapatiwa hii tao moja, hii tao mbili. Hii kudance, anakuja wana dance na wewe. Hii kukuja wanafanya vitu kwa grao na nyinyi. Hiyo ndio ile mkono munaona. Lakini ile inawaibia ndio ile kubwa zaidi. But this is what I'm saying. If Kenyans learn the art of rejecting these handouts, Imagine the MP will be forced to come and talk about issues because he knows if I come to the, let's even say here radio generation, anajua akikuja hapa hivi hakuna pesa natoa na akitoa pesa hatuitaki, so he or she will have to come and tell us something tangible that we will actually buy.
Ama ndio kwa maana huyo jamaa hajakuja.
They will have to come to the ground. These politicians, they will have to come to the ground and say, because they know I can't bribe this person to vote for me. I am not going to entice this person with some sombili tao moja. I have got to tell this person something tangible and convince him, not buy him, convince him to vote for me. But as long as anajua ndakuja tu niachilie milioni moja hapa kwa ground niende, nitakuwa watu wataongea juu yangu for the next 1 month, my friend, nothing will ever happen.
My other reasoning is this movie. Mtu mwenye akona njaa manzee hana time ya kufikiria anything other than dishi malidishi next itatoka.
And I agree with you by the way.
Ukitembea huku ghetto by the way mse, uta understand. Uo mse hata umwambie sahi ati kesho nataka ufue hizi uniform ndio kesho uende shule. Uo mse akili yake hata iko kwa hawezi concentrate na kufanya hizo vitu unamwambia juu anafikiria mali the next meal will come from.
But so you do realize you do realize this MP is not going to feed you daily, eh?
Yes, and you see when you look at the bigger picture, this is the political strategy they have. Keep us impoverished because it's easier to control us when we are impoverished.
But you see,
once tumeshiba, tumeweza kujitegemea, then tutaanza kuwauliza maswali critical zenye hawana majibu.
Let me ask you something and help me understand. So today he comes and gives you, let's even put it at 2,000 shillings. For how long will 2,000 shillings feed you?
Yes, if it too large, mse.
No, I'm just saying.
No,
I want to put it at a very good, let me call a good amount in quotes, because 2,000 is not enough for anyone. But let's just say he or she comes and leaves 2,000 for you. Okay,
Movie.
So that will feed you. No, help me understand. How much? How long will 2,000 feed me?
That's not how they operate, because they understand this is what. And I'll tell you this because my area MCA does this. Na bedheka unajua Mbati aenda umwambie nimesema. Juu ni ukweli nimesema ni kitu anafanyanga. I live in a place called Kariobangi South. Unajua Kariobangi South?
I've been there, yes.
So Kariobangi South kuna hizi nyumba za kanjo. They were built in the 70s. So there's us, Buruburu, civil servants. There's parts of Umoja, those Ivo Kariako, Huruma. Kuna hizi very nice development, very nicely urbanly planned. But then there's a problem in these estates. Utakuja utapata kuna base yenye maboys uka. Na nikisema maboys, I'm not talking about teenagers ati ama sijui people in their early 20s. I'm talking about people who are in their 40s pushing 50. Utapata wameketi base. Na ukikuja mtaa kwetu by then za kupeleka. Wataka base. Na this is a thing they do daily. Anaamka, bado anaishi kwa nyumba ya mamake, huyu ni msako 40, bado anaishi kwa nyumba ya mamake. Ataamka enda chill base. Hapo base MCA atapita. MCA akipita atapatia kila mtu so mbili. Hiyo so mbili, huyo jamaa ataenda kule chapati madondo hapo na 40. Amebaki na 160. Enda anunue changa ya 40 bob. Amebaki na 120. Hiyo 120 anunue mogoka ya 50. Amebaki na 70. Anunue tools maybe za 50. Amebaki na 20 bob. Siku imeisha. Amekula, amelewa, na akona mogoka. Amka kesho, repeat. Amka kesho, repeat. And if you go to Buruburu, a lot of mothers will tell you, hiyo tabia ni Sonko ndo alifundisha watoto wao. Because they'd sit at some place and he'd come and just throw money daily. They do. If it's not daily, every other day. Kama pengine jana hakupita, kesho atapita, lazima atapita. Na that is, hiyo ndio maisha hao watu wanaishi Nairobi. There's nothing else they do. Wanangojanga tu hiyo so mbili. Cause msesha budget ya hiyo so mbili yake amejua, itanitosha leo, ningoje tena kesho. So hata kuja kupatie 2,000 at once. But you see,
kidogo
200 bob 4 times in a week over 5 years. You see? Hapo hiyo
They
ndio
create
hesabu
dependence.
Hapo hiyo ndio hesabu amekupangia. So
because if I know I'm getting 200 bob today, I won't even work.
You won't. And you see that's how it goes. That's how it goes. So unasikia ati sijui goons walipata. Hakuna politician mwenye ana goon. Hakuna, wote wako nao na wako na budget ya hao goons. Wote wako nao. So it's something they do to create that dependency. Ndio ukisikia Sifuna akisema zima hiyo kitu kanyongi ya jana, yeye alijuaje stories za nyongi? Kama apitangi bezo asewa muambie. Alijuaje stories za nyongi?
Well, you've taught me something new about this behavior that we.
So I'm telling you, this is what it is. Now let me tell you, it's so easy. It's so easy. If this is not the environment you've been raised in, you won't understand.
Yeah.
You really will not understand.
You're right, because I've never been there.
Yeah, but you see, you grow up in this thing, and that's actually the easier route to go. And people will even make fun of you ati unajitumanga sana. Nini unashindanga umejituma kila siku. Kuja ukae hapa base na sisi. But then what kind of life are you going to have?
They shame you for hustling.
Yeah. Trust you me, kesho kuna mtu atanipita niambia nilisikia ulibanja sana huko kwa radio wewe kwanza sijui nini hizo. Lazima kuna mtu kesho atanipasha hapo mtaani. Lazima kuna mtu atanipasha.
All right.
So there's layers to this thing.
Okay.
Now because politicians have perfected that game. And this is why when ukiona a Kenyan try to create something sustainable outside of the main grid, the government comes down on them because they know once umeweza kujitegemea, you will start asking them critical questions that they have no answers to.
Okay. Lucia, we've come to the end of the show. Number one, thank you so much for making time, for being here with us.
Show.
Yes. We hope to see you again sometime. And all this you've given me food for thought rather, to think about, and especially some of those issues you've raised about how those folks, how those politicians will deal with watu wa mtaa. Yeah. And that whole issue of someone shaming you for actually hustling and trying to get out of the hood, like we like to say it. That one, we shall definitely need to have a conversation about it. But thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for having this platform in the first place, actually.
Karibu sana.
And thank you so much for having me. And I look forward to coming here more often.
All right. So that's where we come to an end, folks. Kevin Scout and Andy. Na wale wengine wote ambao wamecome through as far as today's conversation is concerned. Why don't we meet tomorrow early in the morning at exactly 6 in the a.m. on the People's Breakfast.
Radio Generation, the home of urban soul. This is the Radio Generation News.
Good evening, I am Dahira Ahmed. The Milimani court has ruled that there was adequate public participation in the impeachment of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua.